activate those realities. And what they understood from these seclusions is that the immense need for the mercy of Allah, that everyone has, no matter how good they think they are, and they shouldn't think that they're extremely good. This way of humility is to think, I have many things Allah's going to be upset with. And the seclusion is a time in which to become acquainted with that reality, in which Allah gives to them that this is going to be your abode, this is the difficulty of your grave, and this is the punishment of your grave. And they try with their zikr, with every action to lessen that burden. And the only action that saves them from the intensity of bad character that we bring with us and that we've attracted through our bad actions is the presence of Prophet. And that's when the reality of Ayatul Kareem that I can't punish you while he's in your presence, means that when the servant is training in seclusion and understands that these practices won't stop the difficulties that are coming, and they can go to the Muhammadan Way website and Google khalwa and 2 or 3 different sobats on the khalwa and the importance of that, because the shaykhs actually have been to khalwa. So it's not a philosophy, we're not reading somebody else's book. They teach you first hand from their seclusions the events that happen. And the first 40 days of seclusion is the freedom from your grave punishment. It's not the visions of heavens, and it's the visions of hell and the levels of punishment that you would have reached, and how to pull yourself by your knowledge's reality, the madad of your shaykhs, from pulling yourself out of that situation. So for tonight the understanding of Itqum minan nar is that the presence of Prophet extinguishes fire. And that when difficulty was coming and nothing else was resolving that difficulty, that they understood, and Allah granted them to see that when they called upon the presence of Prophet that the light and the shining presence and the beatific reality of Rasul Kareem is as soon as he begins to enter into that abode, all punishment stops, all fires and difficulties stop. And Allah wants the servant to know that if it's not for the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad I would have punished you. That there is nobody whose deeds they are pleasing to Allah enough that they would have escaped the punishment of Allah. And that's why the du'as of the Sultan al-Awliyas, who their lives are immaculate, they're unimaginable, and all their du'as are about approaching through humility. Not that they got it, they're secured for it, they think they're going to paradise, but always in an immense sadness that if you're going to punish me, and if anything I'm coming through disbelief, I'm coming through no actions, I have nothing. Because they understood that this path of humility was to negate oneself, and what they could rely on is the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. So that Allah wants the best of manners, that you are in need of your Rasul, you are in need of your Imam, and that you have to know that with all your entire being. To safeguard even your own soul you have to know that. And that's the bond that the believer will have with the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad. And that's why then the shaykhs come out of these events, coming out of trying to be free from hell and be reintroduced to humanity to tell people, good God, don't think anything going to save you. You're not going to impress Allah with your salah, with your zakah, with your hajj, with anything you do. Nothing going to impress Allah, because we don't know that in every breath what we're doing wrong. And Prophet was conveying to Sayyidatuna Isha that don't ask to be judged by Allah, avoid that circumstance. We're a nation that we approach through humility, not that we think we have something that Allah will be impressed and that Allah judge me. No, we don't want anything from judgment. We're coming only through the door of humility and ishq and muhabbat of Sayyidina Muhammad. When they understood that, then their life was to come out and propagate that reality. That save your souls, the SOS, save all souls. And the saving of our souls is attach your one and touch your being to the most beloved of creation, to the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad with good deeds and actions. That's why faith in action. So mashaAllah, I saw other companies now are using that expression. They put out a red van to go out and feed people. So good deeds inspire other people to do similar, and that's when you know it's something good, is when other people are now being inspired, oh well let's go get a van and feed people, give back to people. Great, that's what this society needs. Allah sent us into these lands not to curse them but to save them. That when they begin to burn themselves by their actions, when they begin to orient themselves towards Jahannam instead of paradise. Islam is a shining star. Islam doesn't hide, it's the darkness that comes that the stars will shine even brighter. Because Prophet described, my companions are like stars. What do you think if the companions are stars? On the last days these ashiqeen, they're being dressed by the holy companions. So that you do your practices, you keep your love, you understand who the star maker is. By keeping your presence with the love of Allah and the presence of Sayyidina Muhammad, then Islam becomes the shining star of zulumat. Oppression comes and then tell people, come back and reorient yourself. You are a man and you are a woman, and orient yourself towards the heavens and stop playing with these devils. Islam comes to perfect their entire system, from their finance, from their life, from their belief, from everything. Now everyone's starting to quote Islam. People who were fighting against it were saying, these are the only people that have this real religion. While everybody else is doing every corrupt thing, these people are praying and fasting for 30 days. And that's why when the oppression becomes so dark, the stars will shine so much brighter. Because when everything is daylight you really can't see the stars, it's only in the night that you can see the star. Means when the zulumat and zulum comes so strong upon the earth and mankind, they want salvation and they want the truth. إِذَا جَاءَ نَصْرُ اللَّهِ وَالْفَتْحُ، that when Allah's opening comes and you see mankind come in droves, it's going to be something astonishing, because they'll see that these are lights from the heavens. These are people whom they don't compromise their belief, they don't mix with these garbage understandings. And all the garbage understanding that was trying to hide itself as grey will clearly become white and black. Evil will show itself as evil, and the disguise of fooling people will fall from its grace and fall from its ability to hide. So now we're even seeing that, we left off on that last week, that this saffron colour and this character of these people is disgusting reality. And everyone should understand that when you don't have Allah in your heart, there is no other. So it's clear. So a lot of philosophy people or people who want to be soft and gentle, they say, well they're kind. It doesn't matter, we understand if Allah is not present, shaitan is then there. So the kindness that you're talking about is shaitan, because he's deceitful. So when someone is devoid of Allah, is they don't believe in oneness, and we know the people of the book, if they believe in oneness means all the creation that believes in God, believes in a higher power, believes in the realities of Allah, that there is a oneness, there is a power, then they have a light within their heart. When someone is devoid of that and thinks that there are statues and idols, and they go to something completely devoid of Allah, because as soon as they begin to say statues and incorrect worshipness, Allah's light leaves their being, they become devoid of light. Anything devoid of Allah's presence, it doesn't stay empty. Means whose presence is there? Shaitan. But shaykh, they're nice, they're like this, it doesn't matter what that is, forget that, the person's nice. Shaitan is